My name is Naeem Al-Obaidi, and I founded SnipersTube. And we're a community of investors that trade. I have a trading background. I got into the sphere around 2010, and I was a machinima director at the time, posting gaming videos, and I'd grown a community on machinima. And I was looking to accept payments online, but I couldn't use PayPal because I wasn't over the age of 18 at the time. And I went on to Google and I was just searching for alternate methods, and I found Bitcoin in 2010, and I started utilizing that and accepting Bitcoin for payment. That was the only thing I accept. And I fast forward in 2014, I started trading traditional markets, and in 2014 I realized the amount of volatility that was in this market was just extreme, and there was a lot more of an opportunity as a trader. And so I liquidated all of my capital in 2014, began trading, went full-time in trading. I started making YouTube videos in early of 2017, and as that progressed, I started to really grow a following, and it was extremely unexpected. And as that grew, I also had grown my Discord as well, which was the group of investors, and that has been extremely fun because now I have a team of full-time analysts that provide daily market updates, information, and things like that. And now I have the time to focus on more so of the things that really matter and that I can only focus on, like doing a lot of different things. I'm also working with Michael Jackson's former manager, Mark LaMica now, and he managed Michael Jackson for 20 years in Hollywood and until the day he died. And so he's got all of these different connections in Hollywood, and we're partly funding concerts like Drake and Bruno Mars with crypto now, and it's been fun to be able to really apply cryptocurrencies to an actual industry, and that's kind of what I do now. So thank you.
Yeah, great.
My name is Aubrey de Adams. I'm known, AKA Brit VR. I got into the cryptocurrency scene in 2014. I started my channel probably like at the end of 2014, 2015. I want to get into something that was brand new, that just invest-wise. I bought my first Bitcoin in 2014, and I didn't want to use the traditional market. I learned from my mom losing her house that traditional markets could harm people, so I want to look for something new. So I got into that. Then I started my YouTube channel. I mine cryptocurrency, so I talk about that. And I also I don't trade as much. I just mine, and I talk about news, general news that people really don't want to read. I tell my subscribers, I spend a lot of time reading and trying to learn as much information to give to people who really don't have the time. I feel like I don't have the time most of the time since I have a full-time job, but to be able to give people information and hopefully they can read themselves, I just want to spread the word.
Kevin.
Hi everyone, I'm Kevin. Don't have a cool crypto name, but I'm with Bitcoin for Beginners. A little bit about me. I come from a tech or engineering background. Just ran into Bitcoin or heard about it, read about it back in university. Was super fascinated about like the distributed nature, how it all worked. But I was a poor student, so rather save my money for like beer or pizza than buying Bitcoin. But last year I finally just dove in, invested, really got excited about all the possibility in this space, and me and some other people decided to build Bitcoin for Beginners. And obviously by the name, it's for beginners. We make resources. We try to help out people in a variety of ways, just try to help them get started, navigate all the hurdles in this space, and that's really our mission and what everything we do is focused on.
Cool, Elliott.
How's it going? My name's Elliott Wainman. I go by Elio Trades. We have a channel called FUD TV. I co-founded with David Murray out there in the audience. We come from a product development background, mostly in software, combined about 30 years experience, and crypto for us was just a really interesting way that we felt like we could really kind of play VC on these early stage projects and get involved from an investment standpoint. Obviously we love the technology, all of the implications of it. Started making YouTube videos just because it just seemed really fun, and it was crypto has just been such a labor of love, or I guess an exciting thing to be researching and studying, that we wanted to share that excitement with other people. Obviously, everyone probably knows there's a lot of good information out there, and there's a lot of not so good information. So The goal was just try to be on the good information side of it, and focus on entertaining people and giving them good pieces of content that could leave them better off than before they'd watched it. And yeah, so it's exciting stuff. I'm actually developing a couple different projects. The main focus is a new D-app, a social media D-app called Chat. So yeah.
Hi, I'm Ben from the BTC Sessions. I've been in crypto since early 2014. Just kind of started dabbling in Bitcoin, heard about it a few times before that, and kind of did a few months of research before ever buying anything. And then I started trying to find content to help me through to navigate those waters. And there was stuff out there, but I just found it very dry. I shouldn't say everything, but a lot of the content, like, how do I do this? And I'd finally find a video on it, but it was, you're sitting there and you're like, oh my God, okay, let's get through this. But so I come from more of my job before this was I used to teach little kids how to break dance. And so, thanks.
Cool.
Yeah. So I would do in-school residencies. I'd go to a school. I'd be with kids ranging from kindergarten to high school, and I would have to teach complex movements to children and have them learn an entire dance within a week and be performing by Friday. And so that act of explaining things on a level that a child could understand actually translated quite well into making my own content around crypto, and seeing how the content was being presented at the time. I wanted to make it fun and engaging, but also easily understandable. So that was kind of what I set out to do, and I loved explaining things to people. I found it fun, and being a former performer, I wanted to kind of give a Casey Neistat vibe to crypto. So a lot of my videos, you see me walking and talking in like a splice of a location that I'm at, and a lot of travel and stuff like that. So that's kind of where I got started, and I'm very happy to see how things have progressed, because now there's so much great content out there, and it's super entertaining as well. And I think this place is just really growing to a spot that I've come to appreciate, seeing everybody on stage here and a lot of other great people I've met while I've been here.
Cool. Coindaddy.
Yeah. Hey, guys. I have a real name. It's Aria. Coindaddy is a moniker that I created last year in October. Before then, how I got started in crypto was in 2013. I went to meetup.com, and there was this Bitcoin meetup that was happening in New York, where I was living. And I'd heard of Bitcoin, like I'm sure everybody did, but I don't know, I think I was lonely that night or something, and I decided to take the plunge. So I came to that meetup. Yeah. So I yeah. Things happen when I'm lonely. Anyways, okay. Yeah, so I went to this meetup group, and Trace Mayer was there. I don't know if you guys know his content. He's one of the original Bitcoin crowd, and Andreas Antonopoulos was there, and Roger Ver, and all these guys. And so I kind of got hooked into that group pretty early on, and one of the guys there invited me to his apartment a couple days ago. I know how that sounds, just chill. Jesus Christ. And then so he showed me how I can't, I'm ready. Yeah, stop it. All right. Yeah, so
Show you.
He had all these mining rigs, and at the time, by the way, I have a cigar. I don't know. So he had these. I don't know if you guys mined back in the day, but we used to hang GPUs in a milk crate, like off of zip ties. So he had this whole setup, and took the time, and he taught me about it. So I rode the first wave and all this stuff. So I guess earlier Bitcoin person, and then there was a flat line for those years. And then just last year, really on a lark, I decided I would make this project called Coindaddy. And I came out with a song, and I just thought that nobody was doing Bitcoin music. And nobody was doing Bitcoin music the way I wanted it to be done, which was like actually about like what's going on in the community. Everyone was just like, yo, hold. Okay, one more. I want more. At least I do. So I did, and I created that, and then it kind of snowballed. And I had kept my identity separate from it at first, and then I decided I needed to lean in once it happened. And then it's been kind of a weird ride since, and it's been a lot of fun. It's been interesting. Yeah, I'm happy to share how it happened later if you want.
Awesome. Cool. This is really cool. Hi, everyone. My name is Heidi, and I'm the CEO of Busto. So I'm a serial entrepreneur. This is my second startup. So the first one, and this second one, the first one was bootstrapped. So we didn't have any VC, and the second one was a VC backed. It's a VC backed company here down the street, so 5 minutes from here, Burlingame. So like what we do, Busto is a dApp store, which means we provide tools. Other people can build dApps and throw into the store, and everybody make money. So we're providing the tools to developers they can use. Also, this developers always have a problem to promote their dApps. So we do have a lot of people are in our system are working with developers work on the smart contract. Everybody, if they share or refer something happening in the dApps, everybody get a cut. So this was Busto. So, but why I become I'm also a crypto Heidi. And why I become a crypto Heidi is since we're providing tools for other people to build dApps. And I'm in the startup animal for a while, and people love to ask me questions, how to raising capital, how to work on the project, how to find the team members, how to also like investors also ask me what's going on with anybody using your protocol to write dApps. So I've become a person, I interview a lot of entrepreneurs, CEOs, and investors about what's going on recently to save my time. Everybody keeping asking me, hey, did you see anything? So now I'm just upload all the videos to YouTube. So a lot of my people watching my YouTube are either entrepreneurs, people are looking for funding, or the investors looking for funds. So I'm not really educates market about how to trade or anything. It's really depend for that purposes. So we do have the accelerator called Busto, also down the street. I'm very, very happy that I can contribute to the startup community and also this crypto technology community. And I'm really enjoy the personality to be crypto Heidi. So I'm learning from everybody here today and everybody sitting here today with us. So the first sharp question for you guys, as I'm an entrepreneur, so a lot of people have projects, right? And you guys are the celebrity in the crypto space right now, and you guys definitely get approached by a lot of projects. Projects has money, projects, they don't have money, they come to you. How do you choose the projects, or how do you work with those guys? Do they pay you guys? Or there's a coin shilling things going on. So what's your opinion? Anybody can grab the mic.
I'm gonna jump in here. Okay, how do I put this? Full disclosure, I have never done a single video where a project has come to me and said, hey, can you promote us, or hey, can you do a review of us? And there's a lot of reasons for that. So I mean, already I'm coming from a perspective of like an educational kind of, that's how I structure my channel. That's a large part of it. But you get so many, last year you get so many emails. They're tapering off a little bit, which is good.
Like how many emails per day or per week?
I don't know. It just depended on the day. But so I would see that, and I guess I was lucky enough that I kind of started my channel earlier before that came in. So there was a history of content that for myself I held to a certain standard. And so then when people started coming in and saying, hey, can you review us? We'll give you some money. But it was always like, hey, review us, but like a good review though. Yeah. And so you see a lot of that wink, wink, nudge, nudge, you know, give us a review. And I hate that. And it's the idea of misleading these people that have chosen to come and see my content over the past, year and a half, 2 years, however long. And I feel it's just disingenuous. And so any video I've ever done about it, whether it be a product or a device or a wallet, it's because I use it. And it's because I've decided this thing's useful. Maybe other people want to learn how to use it. And I mean, I guess I've promoted things, not promoted, but like I've shown things on my channel that might cost money, like a hardware wallet or something. But I've never felt like I was shilling something. I've just said, hey, I use this, it's pretty cool. You know, maybe the price point is high or low or whatever, but I just try to be really realistic about what I'm presenting. And even still, you still get pushback from some people if you misspeak or you misrepresent something. So just seeing that pushback, it makes me worry about if a project said, hey, talk about us, they give you a bunch of money, and then that project is worthless later on, and then you have people coming at you saying, hey, I lost my life savings because I bought something that you said was great. It's a constant worry. So that's kind of where I'm coming from.
So we actually do work with companies to help like promote stuff, but I do think that it requires a delicate approach because of all these conflict of interests. So 3 main things I want to state. I think the first thing is definitely you have to disclose that you have some sort of like partnership or collaboration or sponsorship. It's probably actually illegal, but I don't think the FTC or whoever is in charge of that in the US comes after you unless you're like a big one. I know they come after like Disney and like a huge influencer. FCC, okay. Okay, sorry, yeah, that's right. So that's the first one, definitely disclose. Second one is that I think it's really important to vet the projects that you're working with, because obviously if you just take anything under the sun that offers you some tokens or some ether or whatever, and then it turns out to be a scam, that's gonna be a huge black mark on your reputation. So you have to do very thorough vetting. And then, let's see, what was the third one? The third one is, I think my approach, or our channel, Bitcoin for Beginners approach, is a little bit different, because we don't actually ever like tell people, like we give a thumbs up or like a 9 out of 10 rating or a 5 out of 10 rating. We never do that. We just break it down and explain, like, basically give like a white paper overview. And so that's the same approach we take with projects that want like some like airtime or whatnot. So we just break down their white paper and then tell people to go take a further look themselves. And this is not like ever financial advice, or doesn't mean that I would personally buy it, just breaking down the white paper so that they know this project exists so they can go take a further look, rather than giving like oh, Kevin gives a thumbs up or Kevin's gonna buy this. We've never done that for any videos, and it's the same for any projects that we work with.
I like to say this. When I talk about ICOs, I like to tell my subscribers, if you can't talk to the people who are producing the product, would you invest your money into that? Most companies, well, institutional investors, they're sitting at a table talking with another company, looking at that paperwork, looking at how much money they could possibly bring in, how much money they're bringing in already. So you want to have, you know, some conversation with somebody if you're putting a huge amount of money in there. And I always tell my subscribers is that if you're not reading any information about a certain company, why would you put your money in there? You can't just listen to me and expect me to do all the research. Maybe I've missed something. I tell my subscribers, you know, I'm not perfect. And I think that's what a lot of YouTubers should tell their subscribers, because, you know, we're all humans. We all make mistakes.
So for me personally, I come from an influencer marketing background where, you know, we manage 1.3 billion followers, and we have a ton of companies come to us and they look for PR through influencers. And so what I know for my YouTube channel is my personal brand is more important than any sort of paycheck, because a personal brand is going to make you way more money long-term than anything else. And if you think long-term, then you know that. But I want to give a real-life example of a really good way that I've seen a company do really well in terms of gaining influencer support, and that's Monarch. And it's led by Robert Beadles and Stay. And something that is funny about them is because, you know, I am an advisor to their company, and I've done a video of their company, but it's because I went to Jason's house, the CMO of the company. I went to Snae's apartment, the CEO of the company. I, you know, video chatted with Robert, and I did an interview with him, the CEO, you know, the co-founder of the company. So they built a relationship with me, and I had gotten to know them. I went out with Snae for dinner multiple times, and I learned that they were really great people. And you know, and then I think the other side to it is the influencer. The influencer also has to have, they have to have ethics and morals and values in order to take on any sort of project. And so the other aspect to it is the project just has to make sense, quality over quantity, all the time, for me at least. So, you know, when I'm working with projects, I'm looking at their token economics specifically, because in my opinion, that's one of the most important aspects of a project. And if the token economics don't make sense, why do you need a token? You know, most of the projects don't need a token.
Right.
But when the token is backed by an asset, when there's there's a security token and a utility token, and things make sense, then it makes me more at ease to take the project on. And as long as they approach me in the proper way. And I think that needs to be different and personable. And as long as those two aspects are there, then there's a better opportunity than just to send an email or, you know, a phone call.
Yeah, I agree with you 100%. I thought that was really, really well said. I think it's really insulting when you get an email that says, "Dear Sir / Madame," and it's like, you don't even know who I am. Like, why are you messaging me? Why would I help you whatsoever? So I've never promoted a single coin. I've never promoted a single project. I kind of think there's a conflict of interest inherently, and I don't think I will ever promote a coin or a project. Then again, my situation may be a little bit different in that I'm more of a musician, artist, not really making like video daily content. So what I'm doing may be different, but in general, I feel like if your living is based off of taking these projects, it becomes much more difficult, I'd imagine, to say like, okay, well, I'm going to say no to this. You're going to say yes to whatever you need to do to like get your situation met on a day-to-day basis. But I believe sometimes everybody's trying to put everything back into
And
blockchain.
just to chime in,
yeah, please.
If that's your method as an influencer, you won't be an influencer for long. We've seen influencers.
To say no to projects or yes to projects?
You have to say no to projects. If you're an influencer, you're not saying no to projects, you're not going to be around for a long time.
Because you'll have burned your reputation so quickly.
We've seen influencers, millions of followers, done the next day because they've taken on a project that they shouldn't have taken on. No.
Yeah, actually, so maybe the theme between your and I's talk right now would be no, right? It's like knowing when to say no.
Absolutely.
And I think that's maybe an applicable skill to a lot of things outside of even just a project influence. I mean, like life, knowing how to say no to things, right?
Yeah. Absolutely.
Yeah, just
No.
just to echo all that, we never have taken a paid promotion. Part of it is, I guess, I feel like, yeah, there's always a conflict of interest, and there's just so many ways to make money in the market if you know how to play the market, how to trade well, how to get the right long-term holds, and obviously we come from a development background, so that's really our focus. And obviously, even when you talk about something slightly positively, there's always those comments, "Oh, I just bought, oh, I just bought, oh, I just bought." And so there's a responsibility there, and I guess, yeah, I've just sort of said no to everything just because, and I'm sure there are some of those great projects that we're just saying no to, but if they're such great projects, then they'll make their way into the public consciousness, and whatever, like Naeem was saying, whatever small amount of money they were willing to throw your way isn't worth staking or messing up your own position in the community. And that's something that I really, the reason why I set up the channel was to create good information. And so taking money makes it hard to justify that you're focused only on the information. So I guess just to erase all that doubt, I just said no.
Can I tag on one little thing there? I also wanted to say there's nothing more deceptive than not letting your audience know that a project has come to you and asked you to cover something, and acting like you had just found it yourself and stumbled across, oh, this is cool. I won't say names, but I remember seeing a video where somebody was talking about a project and they're doing the, oh yeah, this one's really cool. And then I'm sure some of you guys might know who this was, but a chat bubble popped up of like, oh yeah, your request of like 2 Bitcoin for that video is gonna be, yeah, we'll take that, we'll give that to you. And he slid it. He was like, whoops, didn't see it. And it was a live stream, so everybody saw it. And so, you know, like, but he's, you know, still around.
Have you been approached by these people trying to give away 10,000 ETH?
Yeah.
Just to add to, you know, what you mentioned in terms of always saying no, I also think that's the wrong idea as well, because you have to look at any other industry, any other company, right? You look at Fortnite, for example, one of the most successful video games in the world. The reason is because they were able to pay influencers to go ahead and promote their product, their game, and that's why it became successful. So if you guys want cryptocurrencies and blockchain to really become something in the future, well, there has to be some form of marketing. There has to be some form of advertising, but it has to be proper. It has to be projects vetted.
Do you mind if I piggyback as well?
Absolutely.
Yeah. So with Coindaddy, basically, you know, it's all about Bitcoin, right? But it's not promotion. It's like evangelizing. I think there's a big difference, right? When you're promoting something, it kind of has a certain association in your mind, right? Everybody thinks they know what promotion means. But when you're evangelizing something, you're talking about it out of love. You're just sharing this information. You don't want anything extra back for doing it. When I talked about I've been talking about Bitcoin since 2013, a very long time. Like, it's what I love to talk about it. Whether I'm on a stage or whether I'm anywhere, I'll always be talking about it. And it wasn't cool to talk about it for a while. And I was told to STFU so many times because nobody wants to hear it anymore. But now people want to hear it, right? But that's love. That's like the correct promotion, in my opinion.
Yeah, and I cover coins all the time, but just not ones that approach me with a monetary offer. And a lot of the coins I cover, I don't think would even be interested in my promotion because they probably don't need it. And it's just sort of one of those weird, you know, balancing acts where a coin only really needs promotion up to a certain point, and then it's like, you know, you don't see the Jeb McCaleb's writing checks to influencers to promote Stellar, or, you know, Satoshi's not popping out, you know, asking for an influencer shout out. I don't see any of that stuff going on with Litecoin. So, you know, it's sort of like once coins reach a certain position in the community, they don't really need to be like shilled. But I do hear what you're saying is that you can't shut off the mechanism